Hello everybody! I am back with more mangas, and of course, as you can read, I am talking about Pokemon The Adventures, or just Pokemon Adventures Volume 2. Sorry it took me a bit to finally get to this. I'll be honest, this one actually took me a bit to get through. It's not because it's terrible. It's not because it's bad. In fact, I enjoy seeing them taking the story of, pretty much Ash in all essence and changing it up. I like that they, kind of just went with whatever. Like, Koga is a member of Team Rocket, and so apparently is Sabrina from, what the hell is it called? Lavender City, I want to say? Yeah, Lavender City. And hey, that's cool. I don't mind that. It's just, I don't know where any of this is taking place. There is some shout outs here and there, like, hey, they're at the Cinnabar Islands. Because Ash gets an Aerodactyl, as you can tell by the other covers. I was thinking it was on this one. It's not. There are some hijinks that happen whenever Ash and Gary, well, Blue, or I keep calling him Ash, Red and Blue, that's the name. Where Red, and Blue, they accidentally switch Pokemon at one point. And also, again, like I said, I'm happy to see that Red is more willing to capture Pokemon. Like Ash was, so lets Pokemon just go away. We're like, oh, just let it go. I'm not going to try and catch them. Here, Red is constantly catching Pokemon. In fact, he eventually goes to the Safari Zone and he catches like 3 Nidokings, a Parasect, and like 85 Scythers or something. It's a bunch of Pokemon at one point. And I like that the art style, it's very cutesy, it's very kind of endearing. It feels like it should for, a kids. And it's aimed at kids, let's just be honest there. But to preface again to get back to what I said, this just feels like it's just random, like here's Safari Zone and stuff, and nothing else is ever brought up. Nothing ever feels like it fits. It's the best way to put it. In fact, at one point near the end of the entire thing, they show it's like, hey, here's what happens here. Here is this. And I mean, just look at this mess. It shows like 17 different things happening where Red fought these different Pokemon or came across this thing with Team Rocket, but it's like everywhere. It's like, good God, sit still, comic. And that's a problem. I can't follow this. It's the big, big issue. This constantly, still, it feels like certain parts of certain story are supposed to take place before this event, but they are put in front or put behind it. There are certain things that happen that feel contrary to certain things. There's character development that doesn't always feel like it works with other character development that we previously saw. There is characters introduced and quickly dropped like it's nothing, and I get it. They didn't want to give Red the Ashes, They want to be very much like the game, but it feels like they didn't play the game in any way. And yeah, I know. Red in your game, when you play it, is a faceless automaton in all essence. He is just you with no words. But here, instead, Red is a person. Red has motivations. Red is Ash, a little bit gung-ho, catches a lot of Pokemon, but hey, he's always going to use Pikachu, Poliwrath, and Ivysaur like crazy. And that's another issue, just to call it out as a freaking person who loves the Pokemon games I have, Let's Go Eevee. It's like, why is he using the same 3 Pokemon? It's like, I know he likes them, and some are good against other things, but geez, can you use a different Pokemon? It's beginning to confuse me, and I don't know what the idea behind it was. That's the worst part. It's like they were given... It feels less like they were given, like, hey, here's a quick rundown of how the game is. They were given all the game's main characters, or all the different, like, gym leaders and all this and that, given all the different Pokemon and said, hey, make a story about this. And they were given, like, here's a list of cities that there are in this, and it feels like they just jump around to different places. I'm constantly baffled at where are they going? Why are they here? Why isn't this here? What is happening? Ugh. It's not out and outright bad. Like I said, the art style, it's very charming. It's very cutesy in a good way. The Pokemon battles are really good for the most part. They have some of the Sayabusa issues that where, Sayabusa has that problem where they get almost too frenetic and too much energy stuff pretty much going on. You're like, I don't know what the fuck's going on here. It just looks like shit just thrown on my page. But whenever there is not as much frenetic energy happening, you can see what's going on. It's pretty cool looking. Now, with that being said, it just all feels, for lack of a better term, feels pointless. I don't get why half this is happening. And again, I don't like the fact that in this, I have the same problems constantly that I did with the show. There is a little bit of meat of a story that's supposed to be this branching, overarching story mixed in with fucking filler, and that's a big problem. There's a lot of times that there is filler in this, like whole chapters of filler, and that's an issue for your manga. And again, it feels at odds to what we're reading in the next chapter. Like, you'll have one chapter where they're trying to keep Team Rocket from capturing Mew. Alright, cool, there's actually some stuff there. And then immediately after that, you have a chapter where Ash is stuck in the Safari Zone because stuff happens, and he ends up, it's like goofy throughout the entire thing. And then immediately afterwards, you got another, pretty much more down-to-earth, more serious tale. And it's like, these don't feel like they fit real well. And that's the issue there. There's just too much that is constantly at odds with everything that's going on, and that's the problem with this. And I'm not going to give up on it yet. I'm going to read Volume 3 eventually. Just, this really pushed me in my limits, folks. I really was getting annoyed with this very quickly. I don't even think kids would very much enjoy this just because it is so chaotic. Like, it is chaotic to the point where it is genuinely hard to follow. And again, like I said, it just feels like none of these stories fit together. It's just like they're just random chapters that happen to be put into a book that's called Pokemon. Well, that happens to be about the same character. Other than that, it's like Red could vary wildly from one intelligence to another. And that constant shift in characteristics to the point to where it's, like I said, it's genuinely hard to follow. And again, motivations never seem to align right. I don't know. We'll see what Volume 3 holds. I just want a story that's gonna sit still for 5 fucking seconds is all I want. It just feels like this console wants to zoom, 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 zoom. It's like, don't worry about character development. Don't worry about that stuff that happened 5 pages ago. So, hey, maybe Red will eventually figure out how to use his Nidoking or something. Maybe he'll eventually figure out how any of this works. And maybe he'll quit just throwing Pokemon at us. I don't know. I just hope it slows the hell down. That's all I want. Just for love of Christ, please make your story a little bit more linear. Pardon me. This is almost to the point to where it's actually so obtuse with the storytelling that it is impossible to follow. But hey, that's my opinion on Pokemon Volume 2. If you absolutely loved the first one, or you're like me, you liked it, but you had your own problems with it, I don't know if you're going to 100% care for it. I'm going to still keep reading it just because I want to see if it gets any better, if it gets worse. Consider that the first one that I said, I'm going to keep reading it, and I stopped. So, what can I say? Volume 2 is trying to break me, folks. Yay. Randomness. But hey, I get to talk about another volume of something that I have covered before. Obviously. And we'll see how my feelings are about this particular one. So until then, everybody, I'll talk with y'all later. So, bye-bye, everybody.